Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today for Mary and Body's Book Club and the Book Party and our very first virtual session. For the past 9 years, Mary and Body's Book Club has aimed to increase youth literacy for students in the city of Orlando by encouraging independent and leisure time reading. Every 6 to 8 weeks, we select a new book from the Sunshine State Young Readers List. We host book clubs throughout the city to increase discussion and promote the love of reading. After each book, we partner with the Orange County Library System to host an event like the one today to celebrate the completion of the book and bring book club members together. They participate in book-related activities like arts and crafts and games, meet authors and guest speakers, and win door prizes. Now that I've shared a little bit about Mary Body's Book Club, let's talk about today's virtual and the book party. Today's session, we will hear from Sunshine State award-winning author and cartoonist of our featured book, Commandos, Christopher Eliopoulos. During the session, you will have the opportunity to ask him questions. Use the Q&A question and answer feature at the bottom of your screen to submit questions. Our moderators will compile the questions and provide them to us. After the Q&A session, we will play a trivia game of Kahoot. In order to join this game, you will need to go to www.kahoot.it on a different browser or download the Kahoot app, which is available for iOS on iPhones or on your Game Store app on your Android phone. There is no cost to join. You'll find a link in the comments section for later access. At the end of our book party, we will make the announcement of the summer book click and the date of our next virtual book club meeting. Now, I would like to introduce the Sunshine State Author Series author and our guest speaker. Christopher Eliopoulos began his illustration career as a letterer for Marvel and has worked on thousands of comics, including Franklin Richards' Son of a Genius, Pet Avengers, and Cowboy, all of which he wrote and illustrated. He is the illustrator of the New York Times best-selling Ordinary People Change the World series of picture book biographies. He lives in New Jersey with his wife and their identical twins. Please join me in welcoming Chris Eliopoulos.
Hey, everybody. Can everybody see me yet? Are we on? Okay. So, hi, guys. I'm Chris Eliopoulos. I am the author of Commandos. I figured I would tell you a little bit about my life growing up and how I became a cartoonist. I started way back in the beginning when I was a little kid, about 5 years old. I discovered the comic strip Peanuts, and I fell in love with reading, and I would read all the time, and I would start drawing all the time. So I would sit like you guys have been doing for the last couple of months now, just sitting in my room, drawing pictures day and night. The only way I knew how to tell stories, I was very shy and I was a short kid. And so what I would do is I would tell my stories with cartoons. I would let people know how I felt and how I was feeling and what was going through my mind through pictures. So like, say if I had a bad day, I would come home. My mother would ask what was wrong. I couldn't answer. I'd go up to my room. I would then draw out a cartoon of my day, and I would fold it up as a paper airplane. I'd mail it down the steps. My mother would pick it up and read it, and then she'd come up and talk to me and make me feel better. So even as a young kid, I started out telling stories with pictures as opposed to talking to people about it. I eventually grew, kept drawing every single day. And I was going to college, and I got an internship, meaning I got to work for free at Marvel Comics. They hired me right out of school, and I've been working for them for the last 30 years or so, doing a bunch of comics. I've worked with just about every creator you could name, including Stan Lee. You guys all know Stan Lee from the movies. And I started writing and drawing my own comics. And then when I was about 5 or 6, 7 years ago, I was noticing my sons were fighting as they were playing video games and they weren't getting along. So I wanted to do something that would help them discover how much they could do together versus apart. So I came up with Cosmic Commandos. They sort of didn't get the lesson in the beginning. I think they've eventually learned. It's been a while now. They're actually 20 years old. They're going to college. But so the book was based on the idea that if you work together with people, you can do many great things. I think we're learning that now. When we all work together, we can get through anything. So after this book was done, I'll show you that this is the sequel, if ever you guys want to pick up the sequel, Monster Mayhem. But while I've got you for a few minutes, I'm going to make life easy. I assume a lot of you got to read Cosmic Commandos. I guess it did well for the Sunshine State Reader Awards. So I figured if you guys have a pen and a paper, something there, I'll give you like 2 seconds while I show you. We're going to draw the boys as Cosmic Commandos, okay? All right, get your pens and papers ready. I'm going to give you 2 seconds while I turn around and not knock over the easel. Okay, so we're going to start with a very simple shape. We're going to start with a half circle across the top, almost like a sun coming up at night or in the morning. Got it? Okay, next up, we're going to draw a little weird shaped U, and then we're going to draw a little circle around it. Just like that. Okay. Next up, we're going to draw a little oval, like a U shape, like that. And then we're going to come across the top, straight line, and then go down on a diagonal, and then another straight line. And I want you guys to come up again, like that, and straight across. Boop. Once that's done, we're getting the helmet going, right? We're going to do a little rest of this circle. We're going to whoop. All right. And then we're going to start drawing the face that's inside the helmet. So we're going to start with this little weird little U shape with an indent. All right. Next up, I want to see a little line like that. And then fill it in. Got it? And our host better be doing this too. I want to see good drawings when I get back. Fill in like a little line right there. And then fill this all in. All right. Next up, I'm going to do a little nose right in the middle of the face. And then we're going to do some eyes, so a couple of dots. You give it a little white space so it looks like there's a little shine to the eyes. All right, and then let's give them a smile. Now let's draw some of the pieces on the helmet. So we're gonna have, they have like a little zigzag at the top here, and then a zigzag on the other side. Then you're gonna just draw a little box right here, a little box right here, and then we're gonna draw a little half circle down like that. Now here's the trick. I'm going to show you the eyebrows. So if you want to draw Justin, you have to draw like this. Boop, boop. All right, but if you want to draw Jeremy, and if you look in the book, it's a straight line across like that. All right, here we go. Time to move on. We're going to do some arms. I hope you can still see this. We're going to try and get a little up. So we're going to draw a little line straight down like that. And then we're going to draw 3 little U shapes. 2, 3. And then a line up. And then I want you to do a line down the other side. And then one more little line right there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to draw a little half circle down here and fill that in. Got it? Okay, now we're going to do a circle right here in the middle of the arm. A line for the glove. And I want you to do a line on the other side for the other glove. And of course, the symbol, the little lightning bolt. We're going to draw a little triangle, zigzag. So right now that's Jeremy. So how'd you do? Did you do well? I want you guys, if you get a chance, to post it, send it off to the folks here at the Mayor Buddies. Let's see, how much time do I have? Do I have a couple minutes? Because I have a surprise for all of you. So if you've read the book, you know the book is about identical twin boys, Jeremy and Justin. It's based on my sons, like I said. So as a surprise, since they are home from college, we're going to bring Jeremy and Justin, the real ones, in to say hello. Come on in, boys. Come say hello. You got to come in low.
Coming in low.
Coming down. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
So this is Jeremy and Justin. This is Justin. Justin right now is working as an EMT around here, so he's going around and helping people. Jeremy's doing some social work. He's helping people. So in fact, just like the book, they too have become heroes in real life. We also play video games all the time. We play, what do we play? Call of Duty.
Of course.
We used to play Apex, and I think you kids probably play Fortnite. So, but we play them all together. With that said, while they're here, I figured, do you want to start doing the Q&A, and we'll start seeing what people's questions are? Bring it on.
Absolutely. We can
Okay.
get started.
Yeah.
So first question.
Yeah.
How did you think about writing Cosmic Commandos? And you already kind of answered this.
Yeah, well, these two are the ones that started. So I think I started the book. They're 20 now. I started the book when they were probably like 11. And they used to fight all the time, like all the time. And I kept saying, if you guys just work together and get along, you do so many great things together. And then they started playing video games. And Jeremy used to just say to his brother, you can't play, you suck, you stink, sorry. Oh, bad, sorry, kids. But that's what he used to say. He used to, when we did the first signing for the books, he would sign in the books, I'm really not this bad in real life. So he always felt like he was bad. But these two are the guys that started. But actually now they're like best buds, and they go out all the time, and they make sure they're hanging out, and they
I don't know
they
about
do.
that one.
All right. So that's who started it. That's how the book got started.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Next question. How old were you when you first drew your first comic? And
I started drawing when I was really young. Like I was like 5. I would just draw pictures. My first comic, like as if I were actually doing it, probably as about 9 or 10. I really started to tell stories that way. Like not just telling what was going on in my life stories, but like, fiction stories. So probably around 10, 9, 10.
okay. So someone wants to know, what is your favorite cereal?
Oh, wow. So I'll tell you this here. So last Thanksgiving, we decided to do brackets. So we bought like 20 boxes of cereal, and like they do March Madness, we count down, we compete the boxes against each other. And when we got through who won the final? Who was the winner?
Frosted Flakes won.
Frosted Flakes won. That's not my favorite. Growing up, my favorite was Apple Jacks. Is that the one that you guys?
100%. Apple Jacks. It's respectable.
What do you like?
I bounce between like Frosted Flakes and nice Cheerios.
Yeah, he's a Cheerios boy.
So you were Apple Jacks.
I was Apple Jacks. I think now I like Reese's peanut butter cup cereal. It's really bad for you, but it's the only thing I really like. So.
It's really good.
See?
Yeah. Apple Jacks is definitely really good.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
I'm old enough that they didn't have the green ones yet.
oh, yeah.
That's how old I am.
Oh man.
So what advice would you give to someone who wants to start illustrating?
Do what I did, which was just draw every single day. I am not a great cartoonist. I'm not a great writer. And I've seen people who are much more talented than me not go as far only because they didn't work at it every day. Really, the thing for me has been hard work. I just keep at it every single day. On one of my first dates with my now wife, it was a Friday night at 11 o'clock, and I ended the date to go home and get some work done. So you sort of have to have a commitment to keep doing it and love what you do. And eventually someone's going to notice your talent and like I got and go somewhere. So just draw something different every day, write in a journal every day, and keep thinking up fun stories to draw.
Who was your favorite author growing up?
Well, like I said, I like the Peanuts comic strip. Who else did I like? I liked Lord of the Rings. If you want a regular book, I like Lord of the Rings. I read as a kid. So J.R. Tolkien. I was very much into comic strips and cartoons and stuff like that. So what's great now is when I was a kid, I actually got a note from a teacher saying that I wasn't doing any real reading because I was only reading comics. And now people are starting to realize that books like mine, the graphic novels, are reading as well. So don't discount comics and graphic novels.
Okay.
What did you guys like? You guys barely read.
Oh,
You hated reading. I used to fight with them all the time to read.
It's a good point.
I used to
Not
love to
anymore.
read. Now they read all the time.
So question for the boys. What did the boys think about being characters in the book?
So what's interesting is, so when he first told us, he didn't originally tell us what he was doing. He eventually made it known that he was making a book about us. When he first let us know, I thought it was really cool, but I didn't really think much of it. I was like, okay, like a little kid's book, like it'll be cool, like whatever. And then now seeing like kind of how far it's gone and like how much attention it's gotten, it's kind of cool now, I guess. That's just my side. I'm kind of, both of us can attest to this, where we're very used to what our pops does here, and like the attention he gets with all of his books and his other series and stuff like that. So like this is kind of like another notch on the thing where it was like, oh, okay, like this is cool.
Yeah. They grew up not caring what I did. It didn't matter to them. And they couldn't see beyond Dad sitting in his office drawing every single day. So
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. And I thought it was pretty cool until I realized the character you made me.
yeah, he was not happy because he sort of is the jerk in the book. And every review when it came out said Jeremy is a jerk, and like so he
I'm the best. I'm the best, obviously.
And so yeah, he was not too pleased with that one for a while, but at the end he becomes the hero. He saves the day. So
He does.
I will say it's pretty cool to have a book written about you. I will say that. I think it's pretty cool.
do you want a movie made out of it one day?
Love
Yeah,
it.
why not? If I can voice act.
Oh wow,
That one.
maybe it'd be live action. We get some young kids to play.
Perfect.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to write this book, or how long has it taken you to write most of your books?
Yeah. So for this one, it took me a good 6 months of writing and rewriting the script, and then another 6 months to do the art. So it took about a year for this one. For the IM books, it'll probably take me about 2 months to do. I have a new book that just came out 2 weeks ago called The Yawns Are Coming, and that one really only took me like three weeks to do, 4 weeks maybe total. But the graphic novels take a bit longer, so about a year.
So someone said during this time that they have been at home, they have written a book and now they want to start illustrating it. What advice would you give them about next steps to take?
So if they've never drawn before, I would say just start laying it out with stick figures. It's simple to just sort of tell your story your own way and draw it your own way. I think that's the biggest key about doing books is there are a ton of books, but there's only one of you. So tell the story your way and draw it the way you want to draw it and the way you have it, because nobody else is going to draw it just like you. And don't feel bad if it's not perfect the first time around. With these books, I do a lot of rewrites, meaning I'll write the whole book out and then I'll go back and rewrite it again just because it's not where I want it to be. So just keep drawing. I would literally take regular typing paper or printer paper, fold it in half, and then start laying out your story panel by panel. Just copy the format you see in my book and just take panels after panels after panels. And after a while, it'll seem natural.
Wonderful. Okay.
Mhm.
And then our last question.
Yes.
If there was ever animated movie made of the book, who would you want to the voices to be?
Well, I want them to be the voices, but they're a bit old now. Like they have to be younger.
Yeah,
Um,
would have been cool.
I don't know.
A while
Like you
ago.
guys are hip to the young kids. I don't know.
Did you say hip
Hip to the young kids.
Oh man.
See, that shows how old I am when I say hip to the young kids. Like, who would you think? Who would you want? Who would you want to play you?
Who would I want to play me?
I actually, if you guys have watched my pop's show, Xavier Riddle, one of the I would like someone like that kind of voice actor, or like one of the kids in like that show to voice me. Someone around his age, someone around like Xavier,
Okay.
someone around like his age, someone around his like. If that makes any sense, yeah. Like I like Xavier.
In case you don't know, like so on PBS Kids, Xavier Riddle and the Secret Museum is based on the Ordinary People Change the World books, and we've had it. It's been on since November, and it's based on those books. And if you look at the art, it looks very much like Cosmic Commandos. So if you ever thought while you were looking at it, hey, that looks familiar, that's why. Who do you think? Anybody you're like thinking you would want?
See, I don't have any names in mind.
You just think a kid?
Yeah, I mean, preferably like it would be cool for me to do, but I'm too old for that now.
Maybe you could play like some of the older kids in the.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll play like a background role, but
we don't sound like kids anymore.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
no.
So I mean,
yeah, I don't even know. Like, I think it would just, who knows, some young kid. It could be you, one of these young kids out here who we're watching. Maybe they could be the next star of the movie. So first we got to actually get the movie. So we'll see.
Definitely. Well, thank you for answering our questions.
Of course.
And if you like that book, like I said, Monster Mayhem continues. You get to see Jeremy and Justin in this book for a little bit. So if you're bored this summer, I know sitting at home, and you want to read some more of this stuff, it's right there. Perfect.
So now we're going to go ahead and transition to our Kahoot game. So